Parkinson's is a funny thing because it gives you all kinds of wacky emotions. Joy and sadness are very close to each other.
I have to try to work around, to try to do what I can with what I've got.
Joy over here and sadness, and then they come around and they're the same thing. They meet somewhere in the middle.
Shaking it up in that I'm not giving up.
I want to be the kind of fellow who gets everyone good jobs.
So a friend of mine called me up and asked me if I had produced a song that he just wrote. He gave me 3 tracks, essentially. My job was to make it interesting. I replaced everything, except for his vocals.
That feeling is nice. He gets that funny look in his eye. House on the roadside, made out of rattlesnake.
And it's a song about the con man. The con man will do you all these favors. You know he's a con man because he lives in a hut made out of rattlesnake hide. I shake too much to play, but I don't shake so much that I need to stop.
House on the roadside, made out of rattlesnake hide.
Last summer, I was concentrating on various things, and there was one exhibition that I hoped to be juried into, and that involved animals, including birds. And so I focused on trying to get birds. Went from photos that were on the Audubon Society Best Photos of the Year of Birds, and I picked out birds to work off of those photos. And I abstracted and I changed colors, as I usually do. And then I did it in watercolor and marker and colored pencil. It's a mixture of those. I selected this particular painting of mine because I thought it went with the theme Shake It Up, because he looks like he's shaking out his feathers. I was diagnosed with Parkinson 15 years ago. And about 5 years ago, I started to do the artwork, and I did much more elaborate things. I always did more abstract things. I never did realistic. So I've been forcing myself to challenge myself and do things that are more realistic, and that's where that came from.
Equanimity. Warning, this poem, if shaken, may get you to mope, as an anagram, that is, like finding danger in a messy garden or having license to practice silence. PD is something I'm getting used to, but it's a long process, and it varies according to the day, but I've identified my advocates. One of them is writing. Write it, my sister urged. Enumerate the symptoms and identify the sides in the struggle, the advocates and the adversaries, the improvers and the improvers. And don't omit the two duelists who manage the to-do list, brandish and flourish. Do not squander this opportunity to search for equanimity. It's very hard when you're faced with your own demons, one of which is not having the wits and the communication skills that you thought you had. You can regain in strange ways by easing the pressure on yourself and writing a poem. Even though a fear of falling may always be lurking, like Captain Hook's dread of the clock, tick-tocking in the belly of the croc.
Remember the day you faded to gray. When I learned what percentage of people who have Parkinson's experience depression, I got to thinking about depression and thought about a friend I had who once had a major clinical depression. To me, it looked as though she had gone into black and white mode, no color. She looked washed out. She looked two-dimensional.
How can you paint what the dark is about? We can't come in and you won't come out. Oh.
To me, I guess it could serve as a start point for recognizing the need to shake it up. To me, with depression, the first line of action would not be to go to a medication. It would be to shake up your day and get it right. But you have to shake yourself up to do that, to get out and walk, to get up, get it yourself.
We are together and you're not alone.
I've made a few of those. I've given most of them away, but I made my first one when I started feeling some of the symptoms of Parkinson's, when I started with losing my balance here and there. That's certainly part of my mindset, is to keep moving, using the walking stick to walk. Also my boxing, I do it 3 times a week. So I'm pretty determined to keep moving, and the walking stick will help that.
The last 5 years of my life have been really hard because I lost both my parents in a very short amount of time, and then I had got Parkinson's, and just all this stuff went on at the same time. And I learned that the more you suffer, sometimes the more you get.
I don't have to tremble, I don't have to stumble, even without trouble, it's still coming around.
The video it goes with the song. I made it through AI, but I made it with different images that are used in the song because there's a lot of imagery in it. It's it's almost like a surreal thing. And so you can take it any way you want, but there is always that wolf chasing me. And then at the end, he's kind of sitting outside my house like my dog, like he's a pet almost. So that's kind of how it feels sometimes. The wolf is it's a lot of things, but one of them is the disease, but it's other things too, just things in life that are just difficult.
So my piece is just a one piece of calligraphy with Photoshop imagery. The lettering is my hand lettering, and then the images around the outside are from a photograph of a tree. And I chose that because I thought it looked kind of like neural networks. I made it as a postcard. And so I'm just going to read it actually. There is nothing I can give you which you have not, but there is much that while I cannot give, you can take. No heaven can come to us unless our hearts find rest in it today. Take heaven. No peace lies in the future, which is not hidden in this present instant. Take peace. The gloom of the world is but a shadow. Behind it, yet within our reach, is joy. Take joy.
Folks are hurrying, scurrying past. I know I'm slow, but I don't worry when I come in last. You don't have to be fast to be a badass.
I thought the song was going to go in a different direction, but it kind of wrote itself. It went in a direction I wasn't expecting, more positive. I thought it was going to be kind of a negative.
But you gotta get a move on to get your groove on. Know what I'm saying?
The way I feel that things are getting shaken up is, personally, I'm doing things that I never would have done, like climbing walls and boxing. Like, what? You start doing that in your 70s? I don't know. So, I'm still having a really good time.
How I wish we hadn't met like this. Know what I'm saying? Nice to meet you, but I wish we hadn't met like this. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying.
The doorway. I didn't mean to see them. It was such a private moment. I just looked up. He was struggling to move through the door to the porch. She was helping pull him through. Then for a mere second or two, they were locked in the doorway, both sharing a space meant for one. The poem represented to me that my ideas of my preconceived notions or experience of different things is getting shaken up by Parkinson's. I think I know it's going to go like this and it goes this way or changes. So I felt like this did the same thing about relationships. I saw them helping each other in a way that people don't if they don't really know each other well. Not a tango for strangers, but the slow waltz of lovers. Two of my dearest friends embraced in a beautiful dance, shaking up my dance world and my ideas about love forever. Parkinson's, for me, it's the moments that are joyous that keep me going. Like this was a beautiful, joyful moment for me and for them when I talked about it with them. And I think because there's so many days when I don't want to get up or when it's hard and it's uncomfortable or I get frustrated, but the little things like this, and they're not really little, keep me going and make me really want to persist. It's just worth it. So.
Robert Johnson wrote it. He was from Mississippi in the 30s, sort of a Delta blues legend, icon.
Woke up this morning, I was feeling around for my shoes. Tell everybody I got those walking blues. Yeah, I woke this morning.
Walking blues kind of took on a new meaning for me, having Parkinson's, especially with the on and off periods of Parkinson's.
Some people say those weary blues ain't bad. So we're still feeling that I ever had. Some people say those weary blues, they ain't bad. So we're still feeling that I ever had.
I think I have to remind myself that simpler is not necessarily less appealing musically. The simple can be good, so it doesn't have to be complex. And maybe some things that I couldn't do before, that's okay. I can still work around it.
In the world, there are a myriad of voices, needing attention, recognition, and all the other shuns. There are times in our lives when they speak to us, these voices. Sometimes they're subtle. Other times they're like a sledgehammer. I'm wearing a t-shirt, you probably can't see it that well. But what it is it's my statement, because a lot of us, including myself, worked very, very hard on the End Parkinson's Act. But can we win? Just as an aside, what is winning against Parkinson's? That's a whole story for another time. Well, it turns out, yes, we can win. It involves using our voice and joining our voices, and we did it. Parkinson's doesn't care whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent or whatever. It'll still attack you, and we have to work on it as a country which now has a mandate to try and do the best we can to remove this terrible disease.